If you're like me, you may have thought Polaris was a good hero, but not overpowered. In this video, I'll show you why her third skill actually is overpowered and will change the game in 2024. Not only does this skill negate many crowd control abilities in the game, but it also works against the strongest ultimate of all, Sebastian's first skill. 17 seconds into the fight, Polaris uses her third ability for the first time. Not only does it have a nice visual effect, but it also allows Arachne to stun the enemy heroes despite Sebastian's debuff protection, which would normally prevent the stun. Polaris' third skill lowers the level of Sebastian's first skill by 10. Here you can see the formula for the proc chance of level-based skills. If a level difference of 10 is entered into the formula, this results in a chance of 28.6%. This means that Sebastian's debuff protection only works 28.6% of the time while Polaris' third skill is active. Or in other words, 71.4% of the time, Arachne will get her stun through despite Sebastian's protection. Polaris also allows other control heroes to penetrate Sebastian's protection. Take Jorgen, for example. Jorgen's first skill prevents the affected enemies from gaining energy for 9 seconds. In the battle on the left, you can see how Jorgen's first skill penetrates Sebastian's protection. There is an anti-energy symbol caused by Jorgen's first skill, and both Sebastian and Aurora no longer receive any energy. Just a reminder of what this situation normally looks like without Polaris. In the battle on the right, you can see that Sebastian's protection completely blocks Jorgen's first skill. Therefore, there is no anti-energy symbol from Jorgen's first skill, and both Sebastian and Aurora continue to receive energy. The fact that Polaris has such a strong effect on Sebastian, one of the most useful heroes in Dominion, already makes her a potential game changer for 2024. But Polaris also has a similar effect on all heroes in the game, whose skills have a level-dependent chance of activation. Take Isaac, for example. His first skill is also level-dependent. According to the formula we used earlier, this means that Isaac will fail to apply his silence effect 71.4% of the time while Polaris' third skill is active. On the left, you can see that Isaac fails to silence Astaroth or Polaris, while on the right, he silences Astaroth because there is no Polaris to stop him. There are many more heroes affected by Polaris' third skill. Take Kark's skill to deal double damage, for example. Or Lian's charm effects. It may come as a surprise that even Andvari's protection against knockup effects is vulnerable to Polaris' third ability. Usually Andvari is a soft counter to Kark teams. Not so if Kark is combined with Polaris. All of the skills I just mentioned have a 71.4% chance of failing while Polaris' third skill is active. The commonly used Lars and Krista are also affected by Polaris. Normally, Lars' first skill pushes the enemy heroes over Krista's ice crystals. Not so when the Polaris skill is active. As you can see on the screen, Lars' skill barely moves the enemy heroes at all because of Polaris' third skill, and therefore the ice crystals deal only very low damage. Only while Polaris' third skill is inactive is Lars able to move the enemy heroes and damage them with the crystals. There are actually so many skills affected by Polaris' third skill that it's too much to cover them all in one video. However, you should keep in mind that there are two often used heroes whose crowd control skills are not level dependent and are therefore not affected by Polaris' third skill, Jorgen and Arachne. So be careful when attacking Jorgen or Arachne with Polaris. Speaking of obstacles for your Polaris, when attacking Corvus, your Polaris might need extra healing as his Altar of Souls can kill Polaris quickly due to her AoE damage. To keep Polaris alive against Corvus' Altar, consider using Dorian's Vampirism Aura, which also works great with a baby Dorian, as you can see in a previous video in my channel. We haven't talked yet about Polaris' other skills. Besides giving Polaris bonus energy, her second skill absorbs 3 hits, which is especially useful against Dante, a hero that is quite common in the current meta. Dante's ultimate hits the first 4 enemies. In the first part of the battle, this leads to the death of Celeste. With only 4 enemy heroes alive, Dante's next ultimate hits all remaining heroes, including Polaris. However, thereafter Dante's ultimate does not hit Polaris because one of his spears is absorbed by Polaris' second skill's Ice Barrier. In battles against Dante, the Ice Barrier is a great help in keeping your vulnerable heroes in the back row alive. After the Ice Barrier absorbs 3 hits, it activates Polaris' 4th skill, which stuns nearby enemies and prevents them from gaining energy for 3 seconds. It also increases magic damage and reduces physical damage to them for 3 seconds. Polaris' 4th skill is also triggered by her ultimate, which can be used to stun a hero of your choice, since you can choose when to stop Polaris' Comet in manual play. The screen shows that the Comet was stopped when it reached Nebula to stun her, which also killed her shortly afterwards. Polaris' ability to stun a hero of your choice and also prevent them from gaining energy is another great tool that, combined with her other abilities, shows her great potential for dominance in 2024. There is one more thing about Polaris: all that we discussed in this video does not depend on Polaris' magic attack. Even with low power, she might be a great addition to your team as long as she has enough health to survive. Please subscribe to my channel to not miss any future insights I am going to share, and please check this playlist for more secrets. Thanks for watching and good luck in Dominion.